everyone. Welcome to the first quarterfinals review show. My name is Jacqueline Dubafo. Boy, oh boy, where do we start? The quarterfinal stage of the National Science and Maths Quiz 2023 commenced today, and of course, it was filled with action and drama. We have the two girls' schools, Wesley Girls High School and St. Louis High School, progressed to the semifinals. In this year's already, or are they going to progress to the finals as well? For today's review show, I'm joined by Mr. Eddie Setro Jr. and Aaron Eshon, who are part of our social media team. Welcome, gentlemen. But before we proceed into analyzing the contest of today, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge our sponsors. The 30th anniversary edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with GOIL PLC and supported by Joy News, AT, Prudential Life Insurance, Ghana, Pepsodent Toothpaste, Bettermalt, Garnet, Coronation Insurance, Academic City University College, Accra College of Medicine, Cowbell, Bell Beverages, GTP, Newmont Ghana, Africa World Airlines, and YFM. This is, of course, Primetime Production. So, gentlemen, where do we start today?
Indeed, where do we start? I mean, it's been an amazing day. I don't know how to describe it, but then I think that it's been worth the day or worth the hype. And this is what we live for in the National Science and Maths Quiz. This is what we want to see. This is what people at home and people online are waiting and getting anxious to see. And so we are living the moment, we are living the life, we are living the National Science and Maths Quiz, and that's where we are.
Absolutely. It's been very exciting here. I mean, historically, have we had two girls proceed to the semifinals? Or would you say this is the first time?
I doubt this is the first time.
This might not be the first.
This is the first time.
This might not be the first.
We would have to check, but I think for the past years, normally you'd have just one girl school going to the finals and making the best female school award very easy to determine or to decide. For the longest time, I think as far as I can remember, there's been just one girl schools into the semi-finals. The Wesley Girls in 2019. Krobo Girls were in at a point. Only Child 2 were in at Infantiman. So it's rare to see two girl schools make it to the semi-finals, especially when they are going to meet each other in that semi-final contest. I think it's very encouraging us because taking us back to last year we had no girls. So for us to see this kind of improvement, and it's not just an improvement, the kind of performance they are putting in, these are performances that blows you out of your seat. These are performances you see. I mean, the next thing I say is, boy, oh boy, what's this about? Yeah. So it's not just about them progressing to the semi-finals, but the kind of performance they are taking there. And when St. Louis, what a performance.
Absolutely. So, and we don't want to make the show about the girls progressing to the semi-finals, but do you feel like both girls' schools have got the gravitas to make it to the finals and even win the championship?
I think that's clear, looking at the performances from where they started from to this point. And I think they are all coming from the prelims. Both of the girls, or both girls schools are all coming from the prelims, or they started their journey from the prelims. So I think that, yes, they have what it takes to, because in the semi-finals, they will meet each other, and then Achimota School, yes, also are coming from the prelims. They were not bad today in their contest, but it went down to the wire. And looking at the girls' schools in particular, I think that it will be a good contest. We can't wait for Thursday, the first contest. It will be a good contest.
For me, I think I have a little something to say about the Gay. So Gay going to the semi-finals is nothing new to them. Unfortunately, in the years leading up to the first, the semi-final they went in 2019. 2019. I mean, they met very tough oppositions in the quarterfinals, making it on what's it called, making it impossible for them to move on. But I think Gehe has not really met any tough opposition up till today.
Yeah.
And we saw it. I always say they met the weakest Pesco team in the past 5 years. And they met a protest which they would have beaten on any other day. And today they met that opposition and it was very tough for them. So they're going into the semi-final. I think, but you see, I would also want to be very careful and say NSNQ is contest specific.
Yeah.
I mean, you might get a school that will be scoring very low point. They'll go into they correct all their dot all their I's and what's it called? Put the lines in all their T's. So I mean, when they go there, they become better. So, but I think there's nothing new for Gehe, and I think they have to improve upon their performance because I mean, it took the grace of Bishop Herman for them to actually move.
Yeah. Absolutely right. So actually, let's just dive a bit deeper into contest number 1. Between Wesley Girls High School, Impraso Senior High School, and Bishop Herman College. For me, what I took out of the contest was number 289.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that meant?
If you can
let me refresh your memory. So that was the answer to the question Bishop Herman
picked the riddle.
Yes.
Yeah, the riddle.
Won the contest for Wesley Girls.
Yeah.
Hopefully they are preparing a gift basket for Bishop Herman because they really, really saved them. But what's your take, Eddie, on this?
I think that just like Aaron mentioned, and we saw it from, so Wesley Girls met one of the weakest St. Peter's teams probably in the last 5 or even 6 years. No, 5 years or 4 years. And there wasn't so much competition in there from them. They met Potters that, of course, Aaron said we will beat in any other day. I think that we saw the difference with Impriso in the sense that Impriso also, I mean, aside the fact that they are a seeded school now, they gave stiff competition to Wesley Girls. And if not for the fact that Bishop Herman had picked because you could see that they also had rang the bell. They were just eager to ring the bell, and then Bishop Herman rang the bell. And so I think that what it will mean is that if we are careful or we are not careful, if we are not careful and Wesley Girls gets a tougher competition, and it has an effect on them. I mean, they will not progress into the next stage. So I think that Impriso, we saw that with Impriso today. Impriso in the last 2 years, in terms of the schools around St. Peter's, have been one of the top schools on that range. They've been performing actually better than St. Peter's in the last 2 to 3 years. And so I think that what it means is that Gehe, if I'm a teacher or anybody from Gehe is listening, they just need to be careful as to how they're going to answer their questions and where they're going to pick up their points from. Because if they're not careful, wherever they will lose points, Achimota or St. Louis will end up picking those points. And we saw that today on stage. Gehe, it took just the last riddle for Gehe to progress. And that clearly shows that it's not even about preparation or it's not about what you know. It's just about the fact that sometimes you meet a school that will also pick the points you are picking, also pick up the bonuses you are picking. And so if you're not careful and you're not strategic enough, then you end up fumbling. So I think that is what is the problem now. If you're not careful, you end up fumbling.
Absolutely. And I think we didn't get any perfect score for the problem of the day. A couple of days before, I think in the prelims, we had like 4 or 3 even perfect scores.
I think this year, problem of the day, perfect scores have been very rare.
It's been very, very scarce, to be honest. Aaron, what's going on? Can you give us a bit of an insight? Or help us solve the problem that is problem of the day?
I mean, there are no clear-cut reasons or factors as to why they are not. I mean, there are years that you can get every single contest with somebody having 10 over 10. And it may surprise you that the next contest, any of them can get. I think it boils down to the question and the strength of the students too. So there are some students, maybe, it's a lot of factors. But I think generally this year the questions seem to be tough.
That's the quarters.
Yeah. But you look at the I think there's no clear, one, the strength of the students count, 2, the type of question, preparation-wise, it's a whole lot of factors that determine why somebody will or will not make the preliminary.
Yeah, because I remember during the preliminary stage, there was one of the problem of the day questions that around the venues, the least I saw people scoring was 8 and 7 and 6, and people were scoring 10 over 10 and 10 over. So I think that sometimes it also has to do with just the question involved. It could be the question, it could be the understanding of the students and how they understood the question that was, and I remember I told you one time that sometimes understanding the question is even as important as answering the question, because if you don't understand the question,
how do you answer? How do you even analyze? Where do you start
the requirements that are needed from the consultant or the quiz mistress is very critical to answering the question.
Absolutely. And I think the quiz mistress made a comment about, focusing on what matters the most today. And maybe it's due to the fact that the contestants couldn't actually understand the question and where to start in that sense.
And what was demanded of them,
Absolutely. Okay, so Aaron, let's look at contest number 2, which also happened at Sarah Mensah Auditorium, same place that we're shooting the review show from. So we had Achimota School scoring 34, Kumasi High School scored 31, and Osei Chirichie Senior Secondary School scored 24. I think my pronunciation on Okes wasn't so bad, right? I'm not going to try again. So what's your thoughts, Aaron?
It was, that contest that gives you that roller coaster type of energy,
Mixed emotions.
You think somebody is, leading, and the next moment you see somebody's coming from behind and the person's chasing you up. I stand to be corrected. I think it's the true or false that got them one.
Yeah, they got to
right. And I think that has been a problem this year. So at this adult had issues with their true or false.
They had a tough time.
Even Pesco had the issues.
Even Pesco.
Yeah, Pesco had the issues.
I think Wesley Girls too, at a point in time. Yeah. And even with this contest, at a point, Louis started fumbling with their true or false. So you see, this year, I think my biggest lesson from this year is it's over until it's over.
Yeah.
Because for all you may know, the next moment you see you're struggling with the last riddle, which you have to save or not. And you see, I think the Kumasi guys were good. It was a slow start to the contest, which they caught up eventually. So it was a good contest. These are contests we leave for the NSMQ. It shouldn't be a walk in the park for anybody. It should be a contest that you are not comfortably moving. Unlike the St. Louis girls, who at the end of round 4 were saying that they don't even want the round 5 anymore. So I love that contest. It's very surprising because so that's why I say every contest for NSMQ is contest specific. Because this is an Achimota that's coming into this contest with 64, 66, 64, yes. 66, yeah. They come into this contest with 66. And they are struggling to go beyond 30. It's contest, and I love the contest and how, Kumasi had never gave Achimota a breathing space for them to operate. It was a good one.
And I think, the last round riddle, Kumasi High almost caught up.
Yeah.
There could have been a tie break.
And they missed the last riddle.
Right, exactly.
I think all 3 schools missed the last riddle.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Let's move on to the last one of today. I think Ashanti region or Kumasi is very green, as we all know, and I came representing as well. Not the same colors, of course, but I'm trying. So we had St. Louis Senior High School scoring 50 points, extremely high. Anglican Senior High School Kumasi scoring 24 points, and Wesley Grammar School 21 points. So would you say that the other schools have been Pfizered? Because I think one of their contestants is called...
I think they didn't stand a chance. Louis is brilliant, superb, majestic, glorious. What a performance, what a stellar performance. They didn't stand a chance. And I was telling somebody that maybe that these school boys were not bad, but they also didn't stand a chance. Because these are people who will get a question wrong and you think they will fumble or they will go back into their shell and they are still fighting for the questions. It's not like the other schools didn't pick up any of the questions. They did, but they struggled. Like, Louis came to the party, they came
prepared.
They came and they were picking the riddle. Right from round 1, the bonuses, and they weren't leaving any points. They were coming for your bonus. They will come for their main point. They would go off target with some of their questions. But this is a competition where if you manage to accrue bonus points, even if you miss your main point, it doesn't do much harm to you. So, and you see, the performance started right from round 1 and ended on the last round. And consistency, first contest, you think that, and I have people who they were lacking the first, but it's a very convincing performance. and people are tipping them to be winners of that semi-final contest between Achimota and Wesley Girls. I wouldn't be surprised if I see them in the final. I will be very glad.
Absolutely. So I just want to understand, guys. I believe Anglican Senior High School Kumasi is the regional champion, Ashanti region.
Yeah, Ashanti regional champion, yeah.
So how... It kind of, it's a bit confusing when they get to a stage where obviously they did beat St. Louis, right, who is also based in Ashanti region. So what did they do wrong? Because you've won sort of the mock exam. Why didn't they turn up today?
I think that it goes just beyond winning the regionals and performances from the regionals. It's about how you're able to sustain that performance and the kind of strategy. And we keep on saying, and everyone will agree. I think the science of mathematics is not just about what you have learned and what you know so much. Sometimes it's about
the techniques.
Yes. How you're able to pick questions, how you're able to pick bonuses, how you're able to quickly answer questions.
Even attempt.
Yes. The questions that you go in for, because I know schools who do not go in for some questions. I mean, if it's not their question that you throw to them, they won't attempt it because they probably are not sure of it. So I think that it's about how strategically the St. Louis team have carved a niche for themselves to work well. And just like on the show, I remember we spoke to a teacher from from Pope John, and he said he had met the St. Louis girls during the trials, and they were exceptional. And he wasn't surprised that they beat Adisadel College. And he knew that he was sure that they were going to go on to the semis and probably even get to the finals. And he made a point because of the fact that he said he had seen their performances. It wasn't something that it was like a fluke. It was that they had prepared very well for their performances. And they were strategic enough. They knew what they expected and what they wanted. And so I think that it's not even just about the regional champion being cast there. And funny enough, Adisadel was also the regional champion for Cape Coast.
Cape Coast, yeah.
And they beat them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get it? So it clearly shows that there has been preparation. And when preparation meets your hard work, we all know what will happen.
Yeah, it seems like they might have probably identified their weakness and worked on it. St. Louis, I'm talking about. Right, so I have to ask this question. In the semis, we're going to have Wesley Girls High School, Achimota School, and St. Louis Senior High School. Do you think the girls are going to work together to eliminate Achimota?
Well, but just on the lighter side, Achimota is a male school. They also have girls in there.
It's not fully.
Just that they have two male
they have two male.
Fair enough.
Right. So they may have to field a female to balance the equation, right?
I mean, with your question here, I don't want to put anybody out there. Yes, my heart is going for Louis, but then it's an open contest. No, it's an open contest because we've seen Achimota go hard with 66 points. I think Louis is here to reach 60. I stand to the first contest. It
was 50 something.
Yeah, 50 something.
50 something. So, no, they haven't hit 60 yet.
Yes.
50 something.
So also, I'd also want to introduce the element of your competitors.
Yeah.
The competitors you meet, are they strong? Because if they are obviously not strong, then you get to pick most of their points. Bonuses. But this is a contest where all three of them, I still have my doubts about Gehe, but because as I say, Gehe met the weakest Pesco lane in the last 5 years. They met a Potters who, even in their original competition, they struggle and keep on struggling. The competition in Western region is not even good enough for. So I think yes, Gehe is. And as we saw today, when they met that competition, it wasn't, that good for them. So I wouldn't want to put anybody out there, but judging from previous, performance, I'll put Louis on top. But objectively, I'm not going to put anybody out there.
Absolutely, it's very wide open. Right, so let's turn our focus onto tomorrow's contest. At Sarah Mensah Auditorium, we've got the first one being Opokuwari School versus St. John's School versus Osei Tutu Senior High School. Eddie, Aaron, who do you think will take?
Aside the fact that there's a Kumasi derby, if I can see between.
Right. Okay. So St. John's is also based in Kumasi.
No, aside them, no, it's not. So it's just Osei Tutu and Opokuwari.
And Opokuwari.
So the derby for the two. I think that I'm just thinking it will be a close call between Bokuwari and Osetitu. I did not know about the strength of St. John's. I did not think that maybe they have the capacity now to be. This is my personal view. It's my opinion. I'm just saying it from a personal viewpoint. I just think that it will be a 2-horse race between Bokuwari and Osetitu.
Yeah.
But you see, in all this also, we are living for the shocks and the surprises.
Yeah.
So, for example, we were praying and hoping that Impriso could beat Wesley Girls because we think that they are underdogs. And so, even though we have the big schools in there, we are always praying that the underdogs will take out the big schools because we want to see the other schools also progress and do exceptionally well. So, yes, even though I'm looking at it between Opokuwari and Osetitu, if St. John does it well, and St. John is not an underdog anyways, but if they're able to do that, that's good for us.
I'd want to, in the NSMQ, St. John's is obviously an underdog.
Yes,
in the NSMQ, they are, no doubt
from
about
their region,
it. Yeah, they are underdogs, so yeah.
Absolutely. And what's your take, Aaron? Who do you think
I'm going for Opokuwari. It is straight for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe they haven't won it for 21 years or so.
I think they have just 2 trophies. They are looking for their 3rd trophy.
Their 3rd, yeah.
They've not
last
won
one.
in the new
sets.
Right,
NSMQ,
I see. Okay.
They won in
So
the old format.
which were 2?
Yes,
the 2 schools.
Two schools. No, there were 3.
Well, there's still
okay, 2
3
schools actually, yeah. 2 schools with 3
so
contestants.
They're struggling having, a 3rd person on board. Okay, I see. Right, so then following on from the first contest tomorrow, we've got Pope John Minor Seminary and Senior High School versus St. James's Seminary Senior High School versus Abri Presby SHTS. Aaron? It's very wide open.
In previous years, I would have right of Pope John.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Pope John has also not really been that forced to reckon with the new LSMQ format. I think the best they will do is a quarterfinal, semi-final at most.
They get seeded and that's all.
And they get seeded and they go back. Even with the regional championship for the past years, they've struggled with St. Peter's until this year where they won. There's that school of thought that is their 2nd year, but we all know this is the first time. We'll let that pass anyway. For them to beat per school, because that thing about even a wounded lion is still, but for them to beat the wounded lion per school, that means they have something up their sleeve. Their first contest wasn't that bad. They did very well. But is that new? That's what they always do. They come, they get seeded, they go back home. St. James, for the past years, have been very extraordinary.
They actually beat Pesco last year.
Yeah.
They beat Pesco last year.
So,
and they were beaten by Presec.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'd want to go very hard and say St. James will cause an upset.
You think so?
Yeah.
It won't be an upset. It will be normal because because it won't be an upset. I think it will just be normal. St. James would likely and mostly beat Pope John. It won't be an upset.
If I'm looking at, I've got some statistic here, right? So I've worked with the team to rank the qualifiers to quarterfinals, 27 schools, right? Pope John is number 4, number 5 actually on my list.
In terms of score?
Because they're tiring with St. Augustine's, 56 points.
Okay.
And then we've got St. James, which is number 18 on my list with 44 points. So do you guys still, would you stand by what you've stated, or based on this statistics?
So St. James was a seeded school. They came in
at the 1-8.
At the 1-8 stage.
Okay.
Even though Pope John also started at 1-8, I'm thinking that, yes, for a start, yes, it depends on who and who you met. But I still am of the view that, yes, it could be a close call between the two schools, but just probably St. James might just edge out Pope John. If it doesn't happen that way, we're fine.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
We actually wish a brief Presby would just take the two schools out. It'll work for us.
You never know.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so the last contest for tomorrow is Mawuli School versus Abitifi Presby SHTS versus Prempeh College. No further comment.
Yeah. Right? Abitifi is just like the Impriso school.
Right.
In terms of the regional where St. Peter's is located, they are like the two schools that have been doing exceptionally well. I mean, because they also seeded, and so yes, meeting a Prempeh College that is chasing their sixth trophy. Yes, chasing their sixth trophy and were finalists last year. I think that Prempeh want to make a case this year again, and so yes, it will definitely be a walk for Prempeh. Even though I'm still praying and hoping that there'll be an upset. Like even though our hands are in there, we are still hoping that something will change and something will happen for us. So yeah, it was Prempeh.
Absolutely, Aaron.
Prempeh for me. Oh, I mean Prempeh. let's not beat about the bush.
It's not in doubt.
Prempeh, the aura, the and you know, I think one thing we are discounting is the support of the teams.
Yeah,
I think it does something to them when they see people all in high spirits for them and Prempeh, I know if even in Accra, Prempeh
have the numbers. They get the numbers,
are, very energetic even in Accra. So for them to be, and I mean sometimes I think they bring the whole school here.
Like Kumasi High.
Exactly. And I think they are chasing I think they want to really win this year.
They want to win
this
year.
Really win this year. But however, this year anything can happen.
Anything is wide open. Right, so let me talk about the Goal Good Energy Double Champions Award. We've still got quite a few regional champions left at the moment. I think we've got Presec.
Presec is in there.
We've got
Pope John is still in there.
Pope John as well.
Yeah, Pope John is in there. We've got Tamale is no more. So Adisadel is out.
No more,
Cass is out. And Tamale Islamic is also out. Who else? From which? So Central is out. Which other region? Vota OT. I think that was won by.
Is it Keita?
Keita score. Probably, but
no.
Yeah, one of them. But even if both of them are still in the competition, I think we've got quite a few of them still in there, and so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so you
but
think
I think
it
just
will
add
happen
to what
this year?
Aaron's point about the home support I think we've seen that even from the seeded schools that this year the Ashanti region has more schools, 8 schools than any other region in the seeded schools. Ashanti region has 8 schools as part of the seeded schools, followed by the Eastern region that had I think 5 or so, and Greater Accra that had 4. So I think that just like you were saying, the home support thing is playing to the advantage. I mean, we could be wrong, but it is doing something to help the teams. Yeah,
absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know you're extremely busy, but you managed to give us some time. So thank you, really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon. My name is Jacqueline Dubafour, your host for today's review show, but unfortunately we have to go. Before we go, let me remind you, the viewers, that the 30th anniversary edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with Go PLC and supported by Joy News, AT, Prudential Life Insurance, Pepsodent Ghana, Bettermalt, Garnet, Coronation Insurance, Academic City University College, Accra College of Medicine, Cowbell, Bell Beverages, GTP, Newmont Ghana, Africa World Airlines, and YFM. This is a prime time production. Join us tomorrow at the same time. Thank you. Take care and goodbye.